Most men don't lose women because they're unattractive. They lose them because they lose the frame. The frame is the emotional and psychological structure of the interaction. It answers one silent question: who sets the tone here? If you don't control the frame, you unconsciously step into hers, and when that happens, attraction begins to fade. Frame control is not about dominance. It's about stability. It's about remaining grounded in your values, your emotional state, and your direction, regardless of how she behaves. When a man shifts his personality to maintain approval, he loses the frame. When he over-explains himself to avoid disapproval, he loses the frame. When her mood dictates his mood, he loses the frame. And when the frame is gone, so is tension. And without tension, there is no attraction. In social psychology, there's a concept called emotional contagion. Research shows that emotional states transfer between people unconsciously. The person with the stronger emotional stability often regulates the dynamic. If she is anxious and you become anxious, chaos increases. If she is anxious and you remain calm, stability increases. The one who maintains emotional regulation controls the atmosphere. Atmosphere shapes attraction. This is why emotional control, which we discussed earlier in the Calm Man Blueprint, is foundational. Frame control is the external expression of internal regulation. Let's define it clearly. Frame control means you do not abandon your standards to avoid discomfort. You do not rush to fix tension. You do not seek validation through overperformance. You do not compete for approval. Instead, you hold steady. When she tests boundaries, intentionally or unintentionally, she is observing your response, not your words, your response. If she challenges you playfully and you become defensive, you lose the frame. If she withdraws slightly and you panic, you lose the frame. If she disagrees and you immediately fold, you lose the frame. But if you remain composed, grounded, and slightly amused, you maintain it. Why does this matter? Because attraction is deeply tied to perceived strength, and strength is measured in moments of pressure. Evolutionary psychology suggests that women are biologically attuned to cues of stability and resilience. Historically, a partner who remained composed during uncertainty increased survival odds. Today, survival is emotional and social, not physical. But the mechanism is the same. She is subconsciously asking, does he remain steady when tension appears? If the answer is yes, attraction builds. If the answer is no, respect declines. Respect precedes desire. You cannot negotiate attraction through logic. You establish it through presence. Frame control creates presence. Let's look at another principle, the concept of reactivity. In behavioral psychology, reactivity lowers perceived status. Individuals who overreact signal low emotional threshold. Low threshold equals fragility. Fragility reduces perceived leadership. Leadership increases attraction. This does not mean you become stoic and silent. It means your reactions are measured, controlled, intentional. For example, she says, "You're different from other guys." A man without frame might respond with eagerness. "Oh, really? How? Is that good?" A man with frame smiles slightly. "I'd hope so." Short, grounded, unshaken. The frame remains intact. Now consider disagreement. If she challenges your opinion and you immediately soften it to maintain harmony, you teach her something. Your position is negotiable under pressure. But if you calmly explain your stance without aggression or apology, you signal conviction. Conviction is attractive. A study published in the Journal of Personality and Social Psychology found that confidence significantly increases perceived attractiveness, even when controlling for physical traits. Confidence is not loud. Confidence is steady. Frame control is steady confidence under social pressure. Here's the mistake most men make. They think controlling the frame means controlling her. It doesn't. You control yourself. You control your emotional baseline. You control your standards. You control what behavior you accept. You cannot control her reactions. When you attempt to control her, you lose the frame immediately. Why? Because you are reacting, and reacting means she sets the tone. Let's talk about subtle frame loss, overtexting when she pulls back, explaining jokes when she doesn't laugh, double confirming plans repeatedly, apologizing for neutral behavior. All of these communicate, I need reassurance. Neediness shifts power, and attraction flows towards stability. In the Calm Man Blueprint, the recurring theme is internal strength first. Detachment allows you to release outcome. Frame control allows you to lead the interaction without force. When you combine emotional control, detachment, and frame control, you become difficult to destabilize. And that's rare. Rarity increases value. Here's a practical exercise. The next time tension appears, do nothing for a moment. Pause. Breathe. Respond slower. Most men answer instantly because they fear silence. Silence is powerful. Silence says, I am not rushed. Time pressure signals insecurity. Composure signals abundance. Abundance attracts. Let's bring in another psychological concept. Self-determination theory. This theory suggests that humans are motivated by autonomy, competence, and relatedness. When you abandon your autonomy to maintain approval, you weaken your perceived competence. When you remain autonomous, you strengthen attraction. Autonomy does not mean emotional distance. It means you have direction outside of her. If your schedule collapses whenever she calls, you lose the frame. If your priorities disappear when she requests attention, you lose the frame. But if you calmly say, I'm busy tonight, let's do tomorrow, you maintain it. Boundaries build attraction when delivered calmly. Aggressive boundaries repel. Weak boundaries dissolve. Calm boundaries command respect. Respect builds desire. Here's the deeper layer. Women do not consciously think, does he control the frame? They feel it. Attraction is emotional, not analytical. If she feels steady around you, she relaxes. If she feels like she can emotionally move you easily, intrigue fades. Mystery requires stability. If she already knows how you'll react to every stimulus, tension decreases. Predictability without depth kills attraction. Frame control creates controlled unpredictability, not through games, through composure. Now, understand something important. You will be tested, not maliciously, but naturally. People test boundaries to assess strength. If you crumble once, she may escalate the intensity unconsciously. If you remain steady consistently, tests reduce. Why? Because she already knows. Your reactions are stable. Stability reduces the need to probe. Let's address emotional escalation. If she raises her voice and you match her intensity, chaos grows. If she raises her voice and you lower yours slightly, you reset the tone. The calmest nervous system often leads the interaction. Neuroscience supports this. Studies on co-regulation show that emotionally regulated individuals can lower stress responses in partners through tone, pace, and body language. Frame control is physiological leadership. You regulate yourself. She subconsciously syncs. That sync builds safety. Safety builds attraction. This does not mean you tolerate disrespect. If disrespect appears, you address it directly but calmly. I don't like that. Simple. No lecture, no emotional explosion, just clarity. Clarity strengthens the frame. Over-explanation weakens it. Remember, the frame is lost in moments of insecurity. It is maintained in moments of tension. And tension is where attraction lives. If you're watching this and you want to develop deeper internal strength, watch the other episodes of the Calm Man Blueprint. Each one builds on the last. Emotional control, detachment, frame control. This is a system. New episodes drop every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Consistency builds power, and power, when calm, attracts naturally. Control the frame, or you will slowly lose her without understanding why. I'll see you on the next one.